I think part of and parcel of one of the reasons why a lot of this is so incredibly frustrating in the first place, to hear from the opposite sex is just this. Like, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. The fact that that phrase even exists and has been uttered to any man who has ever said anything, and spoken up on women's rights and for women is proof enough, and the proof is already in the pudding that this whole confront your male friends, call them out when they tell a shitty joke, start pressing record, make them uncomfortable, all this other stuff. These tactics might sound nice on paper, but they're preemptively doomed to failure. The fact of the matter is that the men that are toxic and awful and vile are totally committed to the bit. They won't change for you, well, they won't change for us either. It's not a matter, as far as the women listening to this, of won't. It's a matter of can't. I'm fucked. I'm just as fucked as you are. They don't listen to me, and they won't listen to you. We're in the same fucking boat, sister. The fact that you don't get that is really one of the sources of the problem. It's so true. I mean, you come at this like I started to say in my criticism of all this, of what I had to say about this, and everything. It was just sighing, though one day maybe you'll finally come to realize what I've come to realize. When get back to me when the same wave of fatalistic powerlessness washes over you, because then you'll finally understand. It's not that I won't do anything about other men's misbehavior, it's that I can't. They won't change for me. You think that I have power over other men, but that is the delusion in of itself. Don't completely powerless over them. Once you finally accept this truth that I'm unable to influence the behavior of other men, perhaps our relationships will begin to heal. In women's imagination, it's like they won't change for us, so maybe they'll change for the boys, but the joke's on them because they won't. And I just decided to go completely savage with that skeet in response to all this, where I just basically said, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. Yeah, women are fucked. Confirmed. The fact that that's even been uttered to me in of itself basically tells you exactly why this tactic of just dump it on men is completely inviable. So it's like, I've listened to you, I've heard your side, I've seen what so many of you have said on Facebook, and what you've suggested that we do in response to all this and the sexist jokes and all that other crap, and it's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. In one little devastating phrase, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. Some of the most toxic men on earth have already revealed that how completely feckless and ineffective calling other men's indiscretion and shitty behavior out is. As a man, as soon as women begin to accept and realize that men are not in a position of power to change and influence the indiscretions and bad behavior of other men, then perhaps our relationships will begin to heal. Like I said at the start of all of this, as to the feminist, as soon as you realize that we are in the same boat, perhaps we might start to get along better. You think they're not going to change for you, so perhaps they'll change for the boys, but the joke's on you, because they won't. The men who are the biggest source of the problems in our society towards women are totally 100% committed to the bit of being a toxic piece of shit, who abuses women. So when you accept that, and that other men can't fix them, and that it's not a refusal, it's a confession of powerlessness that is objectively true, And in fact, it was you who was delusional to think that we had any power in the first place, then perhaps we can start to get along